Well, hello again. It's Nancy Beauvert here with Agape and NEXsteps. And today the topic is going to be about being steady on your feet. How balance and falls affect your longevity, affect your health, and affect your mental health as well. I wanted to approach this subject for a number of reasons. First of all, about a month ago, my brother had a pretty serious fall. His fall was likely related to a heart condition that he has. We suspect that maybe his blood pressure dropped suddenly, and so did he. Unfortunately, there's a lot of consequences to that. He ended up with a concussion. He ended up cracking some bones in his face. He tore up his wrist of one arm, and above and beyond those physical ailments, it has affected his outlook. Once you've had a fall of that nature, you start to get a little bit nervous about being out there. So I thought it was an important conversation that we have to talk about falls, how it impacts us as we age, and what we can do to avoid those kinds of falls. Now, the first thing, too, that I really want to point out is falls are often spoken about in context of people as they age, and certainly they become more prevalent as we age. But there are also a lot of falls that younger people, small children, teens, young adults have, but they don't have the same impact on their health and their longevity, and they tend to have less serious consequences from their falls. Now, I do say tend to. A lot of these children in playgrounds, they fall off equipment, and they can have some very serious injuries as well. But what happens as we age is those kinds of injuries, because of the way our bodies are aging, have larger consequences and can spill over into other areas of our health. In fact, I believe the statistic is that 1 in 4 falls in seniors actually can result in death. Now, there's a lot of things about falling that are impacted. As I mentioned earlier, it's not just the actual physical injuries, but it can create a fear of falling, especially with the elderly. And once you start to become afraid of falling, you start to become afraid of moving. And when you become afraid of moving, that lack of mobility actually increases your risk of falling. So while there's not 100% fail-safe way of avoiding falls, there are some things that we can do to help prevent falls, and there are also things that we can do as we age to help us maintain our balance so that we will be less likely to fall. So one of the first things that we need to do is we rely on our core to keep us upright, to allow us to bend, to get up out of reclined positions. The stronger our core is, the less likely we are to have a fall and not be able to recover from it. In addition, there are many, many exercises that you can do regardless of your age to help create balance and strength in our bodies. For instance, yoga, Tai Chi. Tai Chi is another great exercise. It's not only just a bit of a meditative process, but it also helps improve balance and flexibility. Those are things that you can do at any age. There are lots of opportunities for seniors to engage in those activities. And even for those who have mobility issues, there are ways to do yoga while you're seated. So that's one of the ways. You can also do strength training. If you keep your legs strong, if you work your muscles, it's going to keep your bone density, and it will also create stronger muscles, allowing you to have more recovery when you are going to fall. Some of the reasons why people fall as they age are related to underlying health issues, such as blood pressure, and heart. And we're kind of limited on how we can mitigate the risks of falling with those kinds of underlying health issues. For the simple reason that if you do have some heart or blood pressure issues and you're on medication, sometimes those medications can cause some fluctuations in heart rate or blood pressure, causing you to have a sudden drop in blood pressure and maybe collapse, or having a heart arrhythmia that might make you collapse. There's also the reality that as we age, our bone density and our muscle density also do diminish. Now, as I pointed out, there are a lot of things that we can do to do our best to maintain that strength and that flexibility. But we can't hide forever from the process of aging. And even if we do have strength as we age, it's not going to be the same when we're 70 as it was when we were 20, for instance. Now, the consequences of falling are far-reaching. They can cause concussions, they can cause broken bones, they can cause long-term effects as far as joint pain and joint issues. In fact, a lot of injuries that happen when people are younger, athletes, young children who've had serious falls. I know when I was young, I broke a bone in my arm, and it was a serious break. And I know that I have arthritis that comes and goes in that. So the consequences of things that happen even when you're a very young child will come back and haunt you as we age. But the main thing to do is do your best to try to stay on top of your balance, your mobility, strength. Focus on your core, focus on your balance. Make sure that there's not an underlying medical condition. Be checked out. Have your vision checked. Have your hearing checked. I had done an article and a video earlier that talked about vestibular vertigo. And that is a condition with crystals in your ear getting unbalanced and causing vertigo. So find out first if there is an underlying medical reason for any of the dizziness that you might be experiencing, or anything that you might have that is knocking your balance off. Once you can rule out anything medical, then focus on your strength training and your balance training, which are a good idea to do even if you don't have any underlying health issues. If you can maintain that practice throughout your life, you're probably going to have greater physical stability as you age. So there's an article on my blog post. I invite you to go over there and read more about it. It gives a bit more details about this, talks about some tips about how to maintain your balance as you age. And I look forward to talking to you next time. Bye for now.